So, Chad, we're excellent pundits. We predict the maximum score we could possibly get is 3-0. I told you Jesper Lindstrom's going to score. Illiman and Giant's going to score. You said Beto's going to score. You know what? We're not terrible. Beto scored and Jai scored from an
Oh,
embarrassing Leicester performance. But you know what? 4-0. We've done it twice this season now. How did you feel?
what it should always be that fun. I feel like I might be a little laggy here. Excuse me if I am. But hey, welcome in to Follow Everton, following a fantastic 4-0 win. That was just it was great. What a first was exceptional. James Garner, maybe that might be one of the best midfield displays I've seen from an Everton.
I'm going to assume he said from an Everton player, but you're back. Yeah, your internet's
Yep.
cutting out, but yeah, what a performance from James Garner. And honestly, you sit there and just enjoy Everton dominating the match, the little passes, but he was all over the place, and part of it was the high energy pace he has for recovery and everything else to actually be high up the pitch. I'm not gonna call it high press. I'll call it mid press. We did not just try and win the ball back from the last defender. We waited for them to come near that halfway line, and we were getting a lot of just really good results out of his energy. And we know he's got energy. Oh, what is his name? My dad put £2 on 4-0 at 40-1 odds. Well, congratulations to the Duggan family. You're all going out for his steak dinner, I think. How about that?
Probably, I mean, wishing he would have put more on it, I'm sure.
Well, yeah, but you always say that in retrospect. You also regret saying Everton are going to win 1-0 when they should win 4. So, what do you got?
But no, we're celebrating. We're celebrating 3 wins on
Get your coat on and get
bounce.
moving.
Playing really fantastic football, playing to people's strengths. So yay, let's celebrate this. Absolutely made up for Beto. The lad deserved that today. This was a completely different player than we've seen. It's almost like we stopped trying to turn him into a version of DCL and let him play to his strengths, which are
playing
running
the
onto the
channels. First
ball
time
and
shooting the
finishing.
ball, and he's really good at it. Amazing. It's almost like he did that in Serie A. Adam was telling me all about
Yeah,
it. Like, yeah, that's what I watched him on his YouTube highlights when we got him. And I was like, no, we can't do that. We're Everton. We play the DCL game. Nah, you know what you do? You play to the strength, and you know what? Moyes is doing it. 3 on the trot.
absolutely. There's
Get
Kevin. We're
in,
in.
Kevin.
We already, we got to throw some shade on Sean Dyche. That this team is playing completely differently than they were just a short time ago under Sean Dyche. Already doubled his wins this season, and then of course, who? We're already moving past it. Already moving past it. They look great today.
I mean, okay. I will respond to this. So, it is true, and the state I'm in Western Australia, Burger King doesn't exist. It does, but not as Burger King, the franchise exists and you've got in Western Australia, there was actually a Burger King before the big Burger King came along. So there's actually a place called Hungry Jack's, which is actually Burger King, but they changed the name because there was a Burger King in the state of Western Australia. So they changed it to Hungry Jack's or HJ's as I know it. So yes, that is very true, but only in the state of West Australia as I know it, Flash the original.
Okay.
And
Sounds
now,
good.
Chad, and now you go down that rabbit hole. And how about the rabbit hole of 4-0? Can we pull it off again? I don't know, but you know what? I'm taking it.
Yeah. Oh, just so much fun. So much. We'll get into scores and everything, but Chris, who really stood out to you? Who put in the performance of the day? Who was your man of the match?
In the first half, I was actually going to say Vitaly Mikalenko, but overall, it was James Garner. And you know what? We have the Phantom himself coming out of Goodison. It might be a lot of hey Ryan, you there? No, not yet. but Ryan may well be joining us here shortly. I think the one that stood out to me over the duration. Ryan, you there? Okay. We'll talk. If he cuts in, we'll react. No, sorry, the audio. So Vitaly Mikalenko was bombing down that side and did not. He seems to be gaining confidence on how to not just interact with or like get in the way of the of Njai now, and he's bombing on, making excellent crosses. And what's shocking me as well is like there's a comfort, and it's both wings now, and it's not a surprise. You've got you're basically playing those triangles now, where you're actually controlling. We were able to cut into the middle and then go back out wide, and Mikalenko is very comfortable today, and I was impressed. Ryan, are you there from the helicopter, mate?
4-0.
So who was your man of the match, mate?
My man of the match, mate. My man of the match. That's a difficult one. I thought James Garner was really good in midfield, but Jane Tarkowski was so good he just kind of had everything in his pocket as well. He's got his keys, his wallet. He's got Jamie Vardy. He's got Rebecca
And he's got
Vardy.
his missus.
He's got everything in his pocket. I think you just got to give it to Beto, haven't you, for the 2 goals?
Yeah, and I think a huge part of it was also how the ball was delivered to Beto today. It wasn't just terrible long balls. He could have easily won a penalty in that first half. He didn't. He battled. He made them uncomfortable, and he was very quick on the draw today. Roll timed runs in the channel, Ryan, and excellent, right? That's what we want to see from him.
Something you just said, both of you, resonated really well with me. Oh, where's Chaddy gone?
He'll come back. He's losing network.
Okay.
We have Chad back.
I'm trying to make it work.
What you said resonated really well with me, which was that we, instead of trying to turn Calvert-Lewin into Beto,
we turned Beto into Calvert-Lewin. And Ryan is taking slow pauses to appreciate the significance of a 4-0 result. Or it could well be that Goodison Park is basically built under a tunnel, and both could well be possible.
So Ryan is doubling down on a point that I made. And if you think about Beto, I mean, he has 2 strengths. He's not gonna bring the ball down. He's not gonna hold up play. He's really not gonna find other oncoming players attacking with him. You have to play him into space, let his power and pace overwhelm a center half, and let him finish. He's actually a better finisher than Dominic Calvert-Lewin, and then we saw that today, just very comfortably, calmly slotting them past the keeper. Really a incredible display out of Beto today. And this is what I've talked about before, where we talk about what David Moyes does, and the difference between him and Sean Dyche is that he lets players play within themselves. And that's exactly what we saw from Beto today. He wasn't trying to do things he's incapable of doing or extend his skill set. He just was playing to strengths.
Yeah, he times his run. He runs like a pterodactyl with a triple XL shirt, kind of like a Dada gangster shirt. Everyone can grab it, pull him, give him hassle. And do you not think he should have got a penalty in that first half, Chad? He should have been on a hat trick before halftime to me.
It was close. He's got to take a touch before. Otherwise, if it's essentially a free ball in the box, he's not going to get the benefit of the doubt. If he takes a touch first and then gets shoved to the ground, then yes, that's a penalty.
That was the problem. That was the reason that didn't get given. He didn't have control of the ball.
Yeah, and that may be fair, but the contact was quite. I mean, I like physical sport, but that was just crunching without making contact with the ball, and that's where I thought that could have been given. But yes, if he didn't have contact with the ball, and it's just a physical sport, it's not given.
Ryan, what was it like inside the ground today?
Hello. By the way, nice to see you both. I am driving. You're on hands-free. I'm on my way to Oswestry, which is in South Wales. So I left Goodison 5 minutes early, and I actually missed the first 5 minutes as well. So I missed 2 goals today. Woo! I
Everton
missed the Decore one,
never missed all the.
and I missed the
Ilman and
But
Jai
I
fourth.
was told. Yeah. I mean, I had a suspicion that we weren't going to score a 4th goal, and if we were, it would be very, very late, and Leicester got more desperate. I didn't see either, so I'm looking forward to listening to your stream, as I always do, and enlightening myself on the goals. But I was told the Beto goal and the Decore goal were kind of carbon copies of each other. What I will just touch on tactically, if that's okay, before I talk about the atmosphere. Leicester played a very, very high line in that match, but what they failed to do when Everton had the ball was press us well enough to actually stop us playing a lot of through balls in behind them. So if you look at the James Tarkowski one, he just has so much time to play that pass in behind. And I think if you're not going to press, you have to drop faster, and that's why Leicester found themselves so exposed to Everton. On another day, we would have been a little bit more ruthless, a little bit more clinical, and got more and more goals. I'm pleased to see we got the 4th goal. But I think in the second half, Leicester, obviously, what they did was they dropped probably 10 yards a bit deeper. What that did allow Everton was to have a little bit more possession in the middle of the pitch and to build from the back a little bit more, but stopped that kind of space. The defenders, the centre-backs for Leicester, had an extra couple of yards on Beto when the balls were being played through, so they could deal with them a bit easier, if that makes sense. And so they kind of but I think Leicester are a really poor team. And you know what? Everton under Moyes, 3 wins, scoring goals for fun. He's restored the pride. He's given us ambition of a top half finish. And I think it's just the trust he's put in the players as a father figure, but also tactically he's bringing a lot more things to Everton. And the atmosphere, I can't really comment on the atmosphere before the game because I wasn't in the ground, but what I saw during the match was Everton were probably quite expectant of the 3 points. And so it wasn't raucous, bouncing Goodison. It was, we're here to watch Everton beat Leicester. We know we're going to beat Leicester. It's a matter of how many goals. Entertain us, we'll react, and we'll have a bit of fun. And there was a few exchanges with the Leicester fans who were quite funny, to be honest, considering the league position they're in.
Were they quite entitled about how shit Everton are relative to Leicester then, Ryan?
The Leicester fans were very arrogant. They were saying you've never won anything and all this sort of stuff, and you've got fans in the Park End next.
Yeah, they're all born in the year 2000. I don't remember trophies.
The fact we've won the league 9 times.
Well, I absolutely love to hear.
They say we've never won anything.
Yeah, well, they're morons. Really great analysis, Ryan, and your point about Dyche, I think, Moyes really rings true, and that he's letting them play football, which is something that Sean Dyche didn't let them do, and
play through the middle, trust passes,
just having.
Who is a pass? Just to come in on that, Chad, then you can make your wider point.
Yeah.
You spot on, because there was a pass that Jake O'Brien made late in the game, 84 minutes, in the right back position, and he's passing it through to his centre half partner, through 2 or 3 Leicester players, and I thought, oh my God, if you make that pass wrong, they just intercept it. That's David Moyes. He's given them the confidence to go and play football. Dyche would never have. He would have said hoof it down the line.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's it. And as a player, that's all you want to hear from your manager is go out and be yourself, express yourself, play your brand of football, and not, play it negative, let Pickford, hoof it forward, and then hope for the best. It feels like a rejuvenated team. It feels like it's fun to watch again.
Yeah, Pickford doesn't touch the ball anymore.
I mean, he did get an assist, Ryan. You got to give him credit for the earliest home goal scored, or the earliest goal scored by a home team in the Premier League ever. Was that right? and that was his assist after 10 seconds and 10.18 seconds, something
Quickest-
And
ridiculous like
naturally
that.
happens.
quickest
Naturally,
goal
that
in
happens the
Everton
one time
history.
I'm not in the ground.
Well, Ryan, you just have to commit to Everton a bit more. You follow Everton, but do you show up to Everton?
Well, my commitment is the fact that I'm willing to go knowing I'm going to miss a lot of the football because of work, but I'm still going to turn up. Could have easily just sold my ticket and moved on and made sure I got to work, but to turn up 30 minutes, I was actually technically going to turn up 30 minutes late to this thing tonight.
Team's most.
But because we were 3-0 up, so I felt like I could leave on 85 with comfort.
That's the privilege of a good Premier League side that I grew up following. Is that the same for you, Chad?
I think I cut out a little bit, so I missed some of your point. But I'm just being this result. It's so fun to just sit here and read through some of these comments.
Yeah.
Well, you
all
two
I was saying,
obviously
Chad.
became.
yeah.
I'm going to leave you
Go
to
ahead,
it
Ryan.
because it's very hard without the camera and the motorway and stuff. But what I will say, you two must be in nostalgia heaven because you both joined the Everton family for David Moyes. He's kind of like your hero.
I mean, Tim Cahill's my hero, but I'll take David Moyes as a second.
How do you guys feel about it?
I can go to sleep and I'm willing to stay up late to watch football matches rather than it's the burden of following Everton right now. And that's something, isn't it? It looks like Chad's trying to figure out his mic, but yeah, honestly, I did my halftime reaction was just like I didn't even know how to after all this time being tired. Like, you follow Everton because you're expected to, in a way, but you know what? Just watching the fans, the players be happy, and it was just it. Occasionally, we had that win against Crystal Palace under was it Lampard 3-0, and you just felt like, you know what? It was a casual day. It's expected, and it was comfortable. I've missed those days, and today was one of those. It wasn't a relegation battle because we're not there. Leicester are going down unless something drastically happens and they get rid of Rue Van Nistelrooy. Wolves are gone. Southampton are gone. We're just mid-table fodder at the moment, which is a relief, and we can worry about bigger things, and player management and what have you. But, oh my God, it's just amazing being able to say, okay, basic triangles again. You can see the fullbacks. You get more tired of Vitaly Mikalenko than anyone. He really stood out to me as doing the right job, delivering excellent crosses to the right spots that made players uncomfortable with Leicester. And all of a sudden, you're bringing a player out of him.
Absolutely. I mean, I was ready to shoot the guy in the head. He really has transformed into a very, very polished left back, I think, to be honest with you. I mean, the crosses that he's been putting in, that one for Decore, again, why has he not scored that? Mikalenko has gone leaps and bounds. Kudos to him.
Dare I say credit to Kevin Thelwell, Ryan, or is that too early to say?
He wasn't Kevin Thelwell signing. What I will ask everyone is, we're nearly at 3,000 subs. Come on. I think we only need 5 more.
Subscribe. Please. Like, subscribe, tell your friends. Become a premium member. Let's do it.
I love it. It's so funny.
What do we got?
Become a premium member. Follow us on YouTube. Yeah, right there.
That's where you get great content. Right here. Beto resembles Lukaku.
Can you talk us through all the goals, the ones you haven't done, and then have a look at some of these comments?
Yeah, we can start again. So right around 10 seconds in, it was just, I swear it was a pass back to Pickford. A long ball, and it was handled by, what's this fella's name? Vestergaard. He was shocking for them, by the way. Flat-footed, Decore just kind of nicked past him. First time bottom corner on his left-hand side. no questions asked, goal. The second one was a Tarkovsky long ball in a very similar position, if I remember correctly. And if I'm wrong, let me know, chat. But basically, again, now it was, instead of it being a Decore one, it was the through ball to Beto from Tarkovsky, kind of cuts in first time, slots it. And then the third one was a bit of work through the middle between Idrissa Gana Gay to James Garner, a three ball, very similar execution by Beto, goal number 3. The fourth was an atrocious and unacceptable level of defense from Leicester. 4 of their players, including Wout Faust, was just flat-footed, and you had Njai pickpocket them and just slot it for the fourth. Does that seem right?
They quit on that. Yeah, they quit. They all switched off in the last one. That was Ndai just making sure he wanted to get on the score sheet. That's the kind of effort that we've come to
and that's why he's on my Premier League squad. He committed to my cause. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought the best
I'm so
build up to
happy
a
to
goal.
see.
What's that, Ryan?
I'm happy to see Brian happy.
Just said I'm going to drop out because it's difficult. 3 because you. Hello? Can you hear me?
Ryan, you're still. Are you still alive, Ryan? Have you been knocked under a tunnel? Are you still alive?
I am. I'm gonna switch to listening to you because I'm enjoying listening, and it's hard to kind of contribute with 3 when you can't see, and you keep dropping in and out. So, like, do you know what I mean? Because I don't know when to jump in, like with manners. But what I will say is, Ndai, you're right. I'm so happy to see this guy getting goals. I think this guy's already a £50 million player. That's his 8th goal of the season. He's going to hit double figures. His value's going to triple. I'm gutted that Lindstrom didn't get on the score sheet with that chance right at the very end because he's got a lot of improvement there, and I think he's going to get better. And I think 20 million that Napoli want is never going to happen. But what's going to happen there is that Everton will try and sign him, and we'll probably get about fuck off.
Yeah.
I heard something about Jesper Lindstrom and about 5 million and F off. So I guess we'll, if he's able to jump on a little bit later, maybe that's the way to go.
Okay, sorry guys.
All right, be well, Ryan.
Apologies. I can't. It keeps dropping out. It's bloody Wales for you. What do you expect? Bye.
All right, take care, mate.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Ryan's point on Lindstrom was that if the number is true, if they want 20 million euros or pounds, I'm not sure what it is for Jesper Lindstrom. He's not a 20 million pound player. So it's like, hey, we'll take him off. We'll take him back for 5 million. If not, F off. But yeah, what an incredible piece of business. Iliman Ndiaye certainly looks like now just just such a revelation to this team. And all of a sudden, Kevin Thelwell's signings don't look so bad. Beto, you can see the theory behind the case. This is what he was saying when they were scouting him and bringing him in. You wonder, it's a good thing he didn't make his way over to Torino. It looked like Torino was hoping they would be able to land him in the transfer window. If this is someone that's going to be in top form for us over the next few months, then his value is going to increase, especially after displays like this today.
And really the question was, if Beto is really good running the channels, could Sean Dyche have ever swam the English Channel? I don't think he knows how to play the channels. It's long ball and it's deflection and chaos. Like watching, I'm curious if you think the same way. These through balls today, I've been dying to see this from Everton in the Dyche era. Like well weighted, right around the 18-yard box, not much more. Well-timed runs between the center half and a fullback, and just slotted first time. We saw a bunch of that today, and I just feel like we haven't seen that. What it feels like in 2 years.
Yeah, it turns out we actually have good footballers. It turns out we have people that are capable of making plays and attacking and having an aggressive mindset. That's what was so refreshing about that first half, is that we were on the front foot. We looked like the more confident side, the more capable side, the side that wanted the win, the side that wanted that, as Ryan said, They came in to the ground today feeling like we're going to, this is just a matter of how many goals we score. We're going to dispose of Leicester. It looked like the players had that mindset today as well.
Yeah.
David Moyes is a breath of fresh air. He has rejuvenated, revitalized this squad into feeling like we can play with everyone. And it doesn't matter if we lose Oral Mangala. It doesn't matter if we lose Dominic Calvert-Lewin. We have people that are capable of stepping up and playing good football. And we saw that today. It just an incredible experience. Just incredible experience watching that. It was, I feel like we've been watching bad football for so long that we deserve this. And we deserve this in Goodison's final season.
And what happens a lot of the time, Chad, we seem to go in these ways where, like, Frank Lampard can't play football. All of a sudden, Dyche gets results. But we know what Moyes can do. He did it before. He's coming back. So this feeling of like it's a short-lived prophecy or it's a new manager bounce. It isn't. It's an old manager coming back that we trust. And we've always had a decent footballers. It's just Dyche brainwashed us into the worst players in the league. What's tricky is it was a slow decline, and it got more chronically cancerous at the end because for a while at the end of last season, the players really committed to and we got results. Idrissa Gana Gueye was scoring goals, but this season the fact that Dyche told the board that he couldn't get more out of them, it was time for him to go.
Yeah, I don't want to keep revisiting everything with Sean Dyche because we have so much to look forward to as we move on from this. But truthfully, there was a switch that flipped within Sean Dyche, and he took a side that should have finished 11th in the table last year, and he had them playing pragmatically, not just pragmatically, like hopelessly is probably the more appropriate term. Negatively, without confidence. For some reason, a dark mentality has kind of swept into this team, and they weren't able to shake it. And David Moyes has come in, and he has changed the tone and the tenor of this team, and it just has them playing like a completely different brand of football. And you can see it. You can see it as you're watching it. This team feels differently about the football that they're capable of playing under David Moyes. It's been fantastic. And the response from the players has been overwhelming. We talked about Mikolenko. I was cutting out a little bit at that time, so I didn't hear it. But Mikolenko looks like a different player today. That first half, he was bombing forward, getting really great crosses into the box. There was a play, Branthwaite played him. He made an incredible cross into Decore. If Decore wasn't leaning back so far, that slots in for another goal. That was some of the best bit of football that I've seen from this team in a long time. James Garner looked better in the first half today than he has ever in a blue shirt. Just a fun display.
Yeah, some good deliveries from him too, but it's just not. And this was a kind of match where James Garner had a lot of freedom in the middle. I mean, honestly, I'm just saying I'm worried for Leicester. I'm kind of. I don't want to say I'm happy for anyone to get relegated, but they look in trouble. And can you see Leicester staying up the way they played today, Chad?
I mean, Ipswich just lost to Southampton today, so that tells you where they are as well. The most concerning.
We're in a warm blanket. There are 4 teams notably shitter than us.
Yeah, if the concerning thing for me today, if I'm a Leicester fan, and it's the same thing I've been seeing from Wolves recently as well, is those players are gone. They're on vacation. We would say that they're in Cabo or something like this here in the States, but that goal that Ndiaye scored at the end, that was a result of Leicester just quitting. They all switched off. They were done. They were ready to go home and move on to the next match. And we've seen that from Wolves. We saw that through various parts of the game today. They look like a side that is not willing to fight for it. So yeah, I think if I was a Leicester fan, I would be very concerned about going down today.
Yeah. So the most optimistic post I think I've seen Peter say in a while has nothing to do with Everton. It's could Southampton get out of the bottom 3? I will do a live table here and do a screen capture of it, but Everton now, we're starting to work our way up. I think we're above Spurs, is that correct?
We
What you
are above
remember?
Spurs. We are sitting 15th right now,
Yeah,
2 points ahead of
yeah.
Spurs.
Let me share
Peter, that Southampton is not getting out. That's not an escape. They only have 9 points. They are well at the bottom of the table still. So the Southampton's going down. It's just a matter of, where are Wolves, where are Leicester, where are Ipswich? It's going to be 2 of those 3, I would think, unless Tottenham completely falls apart more than they are right now.
Yeah, so I believe Wolves are playing Villa right now. It might be early on, so that's why there's the extra point to Wolves, assuming a draw based on no score so far. But so Leicester are basically sitting there with Wolves, right around that relegation drop. Tottenham are in 16th. Unless Ange changes tactic, which I don't see happening, or Mickey Van de Ven comes back, unfortunately, you see Tottenham move into new manager, and you see them going up the table, and it really isolates that bottom 4, and hopefully Everton are then, 7, 8 points away from the drop, and we just work our way up.
Yeah, no, we're clear. We're clear. We don't need to talk about relegation anymore.
Chad, don't jinx this shit. You know better than this.
No, that is ghosts of seasons past. I'm not having it anymore. We are pushing mid-table. We are pushing mid-table with this side. We are a different team, and I don't even want to hear the conversation anymore.
If Brighton got flogged 7-0, and we are only 1, okay, let's do our Ryan promotion again. So
yeah,
Ryan brought up this channel with, I think it was his brothers Ryan and David, and during COVID as a way to kind of talk Everton, and they've been doing a lot of live content. A lot of what the show, when I started watching it, was they would have people come in from the match, and I remember, it's different. We have usually like 6 to 8 people on the channel. So you have a lot of different varieties. It was back in the day of, we're not very good at football. We lost to Bournemouth. We're just raging. And you basically have these kind of live interactive reactions. Yeah, Ryan's excited that we have good mics here, but a lot of it is we're talking to you raw, we're talking to you live, and we don't have the high production quality of a Toffee TV, but we're doing something a little bit different, a little bit creative. And Ryan's at the point now, it's a project he's come up with all on his own, and we're right around that mark for him of getting to 3,000 subscribers. And that's a milestone he's been fighting to try and get to for a little while. So if you aren't a subscriber, here's that opportunity to be the 3,000th, to get Ryan and the team here to that point, and us to move up the algorithm a little bit.
All right, if you're the 3,000th subscriber, then you get a prize. You get a prize. It's a secret prize.
We won't even know who it is because we're so coordinated. Ryan might. He might comment to you on X.
So I'll do a quick rejoinder. You're listening to Follow Everton. We are post-match celebrating a fantastic 4-0 win. Relegation no more. I'll be damned. Oh, am I cutting out?
I think so. But relegation no more. 4-0 win. Back to you.
All good feelings, all good vibes. Game on Match of the Day. I don't know about that. We did see a 7-0 drubbing, Kevin. I don't know if we'll get that. I don't get Match of the Day here, so I'll be today. Get your comments in. What do you want to talk about? I want to hear, what did you think about Abdoulaye Doucouré today? He has faced a lot of criticism recently. I thought he was okay in the first half. Obviously got that goal within the first 10, 11 seconds in the match, but I thought it was pretty shit in the second half. What did you think of Abdoulaye Doucouré today? Is that still a position that we need to upgrade? Where else are your thoughts?
Yeah, we do. He needs to go. I'm sorry.
He needs to go.
He did that first half. He's so emotionally driven, which is great when it's working out well. And blue hearts from Ryan there. So, the second you're getting that moment of he got possession, he was distributing the ball left, right, center, and felt really confident. And it's wonderful when he's got confidence. But you know what? the second he versus a good opposition, that confidence is just going to die in the ass, and he needs to go. But against Leicester and squads like that, you have to keep him for now. And I'm sure, Chad, if you've got time, I imagine Adam and I will probably do a show. We say buy, sell, keep, extend, keep to the end of the year kind of show. And Doucouré's one, you keep him to the end of his contract, but not much more, because you know what? We have new players that can do similar kind of things. Timmy Brunham, he came back today. It was in the very briefly at the end, but I just really enjoy his energy. He's new, he's fresh, and that's who I want to see scoring our goals.
Oh, there's our friend Becky is here. Becky, where have you been? Come on, Becky. Is buy sell keep is buy sell keep the Everton version of Mary Fuck Kill? Have you ever heard of that game?
I'm not sure. I mean, this is just talking to the characters from Hogwarts at the moment, if I understand the photo correctly.
Yeah, no, let's do that show. That would be fun. And I'm excited to continue to examine new incomings, because I think we're going to have a few of those. Does today's performance, Chris, let me ask you this one. Does today's performance change the thinking around going all in for an Evan Ferguson type? Because that's been the link. There was rumors that there was an offer already made. You know, he is Irish. We have Seamus. We have O'Brien already in the side.
Mm-hmm.
Could they lure him over? What did you think? What do you think today's Beto, today's, I can't even talk, today's game by Beto, what do you think? What do you think this changes as far as the transfer deadline is concerned?
So if DCL goes and Chimedi stays injured, you have Beto. And if Beto truly wants to leave, what you really want to say is you want someone for the future. If we can afford Evan Ferguson, and all things being equal and the rest of the squad, we have just enough depth to get by for the rest of the season. Moyes is getting enough out of us. 15th versus 16th, what have you. We're up. Ferguson, long-term strategy. We want him. We would like someone like him, I think, to get results for us. Or do you think that Evan Ferguson isn't the kind of striker that Moyes likes? Because if he isn't, okay. But I think we could bring him in, and he's a long-term future pick for Everton, for example. If Brighton want to get rid of him, let's spend 30 mil, get someone in that we think is capable for a while. The only catch, he's had injury issues this year, and he's still relatively young. Is it a big risk after we've brought the likes of Dele Alli and Brozier in recently? Is it too much of a financial risk if he's not fit enough?
It's going to be a risk. We talked about this in the pre-show. And anyone, you're not going to find goals and fitness on the cheap. And it just depends on what the budget is. So if Evan Ferguson is a young player with a limited history, a small history of scoring goals in the Premier League, which he has.
Premier League hat tricks, though.
That to me speaks volumes. I am interested in taking a shot on anyone that is young and has the scoring instinct set that he seems to. I don't know if he's a Moyes kind of player, but I would be interested in them taking that shot. I don't know what it means to Tremidi long term. I don't know what it means to Brozier long term if they decide to keep him. But we need to solidify that position moving forward.
I like Brozier, but it would be absolute negligence, in my opinion, to keep someone that is incapable of being healthy after a lone spell of 4 games being fit.
Yeah. Timothy Weah, he has been linked. The Juventus midfielder / right back, he has been linked. There was some talk that maybe he wants to stay at Juve, so we'll see. I would be interested in that person, but he would probably, I think, sell at the 10 at Everton. And if Charlie Alcaraz is going to be in that spot with Doucouré, I don't know if we need to bring in Timothy Weah. But I think Ryan's point here is that Moyes has given us credibility in the transfer window. We've seen this now over the past several seasons where January comes along and then players are picking other sides, other teams rather than Everton. They are feeling like they either don't want to play with a manager like Sean Dyche or a manager who
Yeah, and you think
This
about
is giving it. This is going to. Yeah, there might be players out there that actually want to come and play for David Moyes.
yeah, and you think about how quickly Vitaly Mikalenko seems to be having a makeover, and it wasn't too long ago. Ryan, for example, wanted him and Patterson out of the club, right? And part of it is just having a setup in place to see the qualities of these players and utilize them. And how would that not inspire someone to say, I want to get to the Premier League level? I'm not sure I'm there yet, but I want to jump. I don't want to be at a lower level playing first team football. I want to be at either at reserves or on the bench in a better squad with the opportunity to show myself at the Premier League level with someone that sees what I can do. You can bring these players taking a risk, or that they take a risk because they know there's a chance, instead of the Dyche method of you're not going to play, you like Arnott Danjuma just out, So you've got that component maybe now that people are willing to take that professional leap that says I might be developed and make my career here. I will add though, it was kind of interesting. The subs. So we saw Ashley Young come on. We saw Jack Harrison come on. Ashley Young come on. Nathan Patterson, Jack Harrison, Ashley Young, Tim Merrick-Burnham. Am I missing one? Or they're the four?
It was just four. Harrison, Harrison, Patterson, Irabunam, and Young.
So really glad to see Eric Burnham come on. But at the same time, we're winning 3-0. Unless a clean sheet is going to detrimentally affect the result of the squad, why are you not putting on other players in the midfield? Let's say Harrison Armstrong, or even there was a head injury and there was a couple of scary moments where it looked like Jared Branthwaite was a bit woozy. Just bring on Michael Keane for the final 10 minutes. Give Branthwaite a concussion rest just in case. There's a couple of moments where you're like, okay, why don't we just bring in a couple of the fringe players that are never getting time? Or do you think, you know what, we're doubling down on the squad that we have, and it's 15 to 16 in scale, and don't even bother with these resis?
Yeah, I was sitting there thinking, hey, 3-0 up. Can we see Harrison Armstrong? Can we give Martin Sheriff his debut?
Exactly.
But yeah, I think David Moyes is more thinking I need to build this squad and I need to build the depth of the squad. And that's going to start with trying to figure out Jack Harrison, the dilemma, the enigma that.
The Jack Harrison vibe. I'm not sure.
I'm breaking it up. Yeah, Jack Harrison, void of confidence, dripping with skill. There has to be something that David Moyes can do to salvage Jack Harrison. So I think that's what he's doing, is trying to bring him back into the fold and hope to be able to get something out of him moving forward.
Yeah. So I think my main criticism today is bringing on the likes of Ashley Young and holding Beto off until the very end, because, and to Peter Duggan's point, yeah, there's a reason if we can. I'm not saying we want to concede goals, but if you're up 3-0 and you have someone with a concussion concern who looks woozy at times, take him off and rest him a little bit instead of pushing him on to the end on a clean sheet. That was my only point there with Keane versus Branthwaite. There was at least to me, and then maybe you saw it differently, Chad, but there's a couple of moments where he just seemed like he was wobbling and everyone was checking on him. Do you not remember seeing those, or is that?
Yeah, so the head injury wasn't actually. I don't think it was a concussion concern. He seemed to. I think he caught a headbutt from Ayew in about the temple, and there was a welt that was starting to form by the eye. And I think it was something that he was cautious of throughout the match and wanted to make sure he didn't get hit again. And that's why he was able to stay in. I would certainly hope that Everton would not have kept Jared Branthwaite in if there was a concussion concern.
There's just a moment I remember seeing the replay of it where he was looking kind of wobbly and not looking at the ball when someone was about to cross it, and you're thinking clearly he's paying attention and that's his job, you know. So if he's doing that kind of stuff, just rest the guy at 3-0. That was my main point. Ryan was asking, and I might see if I can pull this up. When did Harrison come on? So substitution times, we have Ashley Young came on for Jesper. I think that was the first move at 75 minutes. And then Tim Erik Brunham replaced Garner at 82 minutes. And then there was a double substitution. Vitaly Mikalenko came on for Nathan Patterson came on for Vitaly Mikalenko, and then Jack Harrison came on for Beto. That might be a conversation with a later point, but do you remember how Everton set up when Beto was off the field? Because if Beto is for any reason injured, how does Everton play?
Or certainly the highest person. So they moved Ashley Young. They moved Patterson to the right, and I believe Ashley Young to the left. And then I think they had Ndai as the number 9.
Okay, so the Peter Duggan false 9 and Jai experiment is happening.
Yeah, I don't see that being something that we explore a lot of, but certainly they wanted to get Beto off. They wanted to get him that ovation, and he deserved it.
He deserved it
today. He played brilliantly, and as Beto does, he played hard as hell. That's what you're going to get from Beto. You're going to get passion, endeavor, flopping to the ground, and today we got goals, and that was great to see. Chris, you want to start giving some scores?
Yeah. Well, I click and then it slides. So yes, Chimedi is back in training, but Garrett relying on him to be the main character, it's a bit much. He played once against Brentford as a starting number 9 under Dyche, I think, at the end of last season, but probably not. You don't want to be banking on Chimedi. Yes, I was excited to him on preseason, but not enough to say you want him and only him in the squad. So we're starting with
I like
players.
Schmitty, though.
Oh, I do too.
I like
but you
Chimedi,
don't
though.
want to say you need him and only him. You want Chimedi as your third option to me.
Agreed.
Maybe second.
Agreed.
So we're doing.
Actually, he could really do with the loan.
He could do it alone. Or am I losing you?
If he was healthy, I would say I would like to see him go out on loan, but he's not healthy. Although he's not
on loan, not alone. On a loan, yes.
On a loan, yeah.
Sorry, yeah, just audio cut out. So if we're talking performance, let's go with Pickford. He didn't. I mean, that's a credit to Everton. Also, shame on Leicester they didn't challenge more. He didn't have much to do. He had a well-delivered long ball, but it wasn't even a great long ball. It was more Leicester just shite. Like a 7 to an 8 for me. Nothing. He didn't do anything wrong, but I don't think he pulled up trees. What are you thinking, Chad?
Yeah, I'm sorry I cut out again. I don't know how much longer my internet's going to let me go. Anytime you post a clean sheet and get an assist, I'm sorry, that's like an 8 or a 9 for me. He didn't do much. He was cranky as hell back there at times, but I think we got a great Jordan Pickford today. So he didn't have to make a great stop, but the assists and a clean sheet, I'll take it all day.
Yeah, I mean, I think somewhere between, and that's what's tricky because was the assist excellent? He put it in the right spot, but he did that under Dyche every other pass he did, but it worked out today, so it kind of adds up. But okay, 8 because of the assist, sure. So do we want to start on the right back or the left back?
Let's start left. I think Vitaly Mikalenko was fantastic. So yeah, let's start with. We've already talked about him a little bit though.
Yeah, I think 9's slightly too high. I'm giving him an 8. He was comfortable, was not challenged defensively. His delivery on crosses was really good. I will say he seemed to fade a little bit on his impact on the second half. But I am so excited to see what is coming out of that guy right now. You can see that confidence when he was scoring goals last season and going into the box a bit, and I'm seeing it again. I'm really excited for him to see what he can do in these next few weeks under Baines and Moyes set up now.
Yeah, agreed. An 8. I thought he was.
Is Chad cutting out again? I have a bad feeling he might be. If he cuts back in, we'll.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can. So,
Yeah,
8,
I was gonna.
7.
He was great. I would say 8, and 8 from Linko. He was quite good today. I want to see more of that.
Yeah, Branthwaite was not bad, but I don't think he stood out at the same time in a quite a solid back four. I would give him a 7. Not poor by any means, but did he pull up trees as much as some of the others? Probably not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
7.
Tarkovsky, I think, yes, he had the assist, but dominating the air a lot. I'd probably give him an 8, but you could say 7, but I think probably closer to an 8 for me.
Yeah, I thought he was really assured, really confident. Looks good on the ball in possession now. I would say an 8 for Tark.
Yeah, and we were worried pre-match about Jamie Vardy, and that didn't really kick in. So
no, they contained him. And it looks like we might have Corey jumping in.
And now we have some fresh perspective that hasn't had half a bottle of red wine enjoying the result.
How are we, boys?
We're
doing good.
We got a win.
Yeah, 4-0. I was perplexed when that first one went in. Like I watched it, but I was just perplexed. Like I just was not expecting it to happen. But it got the ground in a boss mood. The atmosphere really ramped up after that.
You're like, VAR, cancel it. It doesn't make sense. It isn't real.
Yeah. Who was your man of the match today?
Me. Do you know what? It's hard. Like at the start, I thought it was James Garner. I think that first half was the best half he's had for us. I think Adrissa over the course of the full game, there was probably a bit more consistent. And then Beto for the 2 goals. Yeah, he was involved with everything going forward. So I'm stuck between them 3. I want to give it to Beto. Just he's got the 2 goals. It's good for him. So I'd give it to Beto.
And you know what? He was very clinical. He didn't think too much. Didn't try to juke at the keeper. Just struck it early, which is huge. Yeah,
I thought the second goal. When I first saw it, I thought, "Oh, he's not hit that very well." And then when I've watched the replay on the screen in the stadium, you could see that his technique was actually really good. As he didn't swing his foot back, it was quite a short motion between him actually putting his foot through the ball. And although it wasn't the fastest, because it was like that, the keeper didn't have a chance to get down. So actually, when I looked at it on the second time, the technique looked really, really good. It was actually a decent finish. But at first, I thought we got a bit lucky there, but no, good finish, proper striker finish.
Is it like the Illiman and Jai penalty from last week?
I think that one was just in the corner just enough, but this one, it was very much the technique of how he hit it was very much like, when you see like martial artists and they don't swing for the punch. It's like a quick one and it catches you off guard. It's probably the best analogy I can give.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, Corey, I don't practice my martial arts. I avoid martially avoiding the arts.
Don't worry, mate. I'm not good at martial arts or art at all. So, so what did you? Because I've been driving back. I've missed obviously a little bit of the reaction. What did you think of the offside one? Was that definitely offside?
Oh, that's one that's just okay. How have I blanked on this? I'm not sure we covered it. Which one are we talking about?
So it was when from the corner, ball come in, it got headed back across, and then someone put it in. I think it was one of the defenders, one of the big lads put it in, and it ended up.
Branthwaite, maybe. Yeah. So watching that in person, I didn't even think twice on it because he looked clearly offside by about like a person. If it's the same one you're thinking, and that's what Peter's thinking too. Yeah, there was one that was like a goal, but it was stopped immediately, and I was like, ah. And then you looked at it and it was offside. The other one that I had some thought on. Oh, it was O'Brien, huh? Okay.
Thanks,
So,
please.
what did come to mind? What did you think of that penalty shout on Beto in the first half?
Look, I see I'm not giving. You know what I mean? So it wasn't. We were screaming for it when it happened. But in regards to it, I wasn't dwelling on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think
I
the
was
foul
actually quite
the foul on
annoyed with it.
Lindstrom later on was even worse.
So being able to see it on the on replay, the Beto one, it almost looked like the guy Beto, he didn't have control of the ball, but the person just gave him a corky, just like need him in that spot at full pelt, and you're like, oh, it's a physical game. You don't just hit people in the penalty box, like in the this 18-yard box, and say that's okay. The one with Lindstrom was a really awkward challenge, but it was physical, but it wasn't exactly egregious. It was just a kind of a collision with two players, from what I could see. But my first thought was, oh, was that bad? And Lindstrom was on the ground and hurt, but it was just awkward enough that it wasn't really anyone's fault.
Yeah,
to me,
because it looked to me like he put his foot across. Thanks. It looked to me like
this is what an engaged man looks like. By the way, he's Le Coq Sportif. He's confident and everything.
This is me lucky jacket now, so we've not lost while I've wore it. So
yeah. So for everyone that doesn't know, we have a newly engaged host of the channel who's very smart now and very high in energy. And congratulations to Corey.
Thank you very much, Chris. I appreciate it, mate.
Yeah. So we talked to Ryan, but it was cutouts and everything. What was the feeling like on this match? It felt, even from the stadium online, you know what? They cranked the audio to make Everton feel like it was booming. It felt that way. And of course, I'm just like, from the rooftops, 4-0, 3-0, like at halftime, just elated. Did you feel the same way? And how did it feel?
Yeah, so I mean, when pre-game, it felt more like, my last game was on the Dyche. The last game that I went to was the Brentford one. So, and it felt okay then, but if there was a lot more about the crowd before the game even started. Nothing ridiculous, especially so. But as soon as that first goal went in, obviously everyone was bouncing. The atmosphere was brilliant. The second goal went in, again, everyone was absolutely buzzing. We had a bit of a lull halfway through, but there was still a lot of singing going on. And then from 3-0, once it was 3-0 at the end of the first half, it was bouncing. Like, it's one of them where you can feel old wood and Goodison like shaking.
Yeah, somewhere around 30 minutes till half time. Right around that third goal just seemed like it was bouncing when I was listening on the TV. So, I wish I was there, but you know what? When I was in the UK not that long ago, it was international break and I just couldn't grab any luck. But you know what, Corey, Chips 1878, you've got it all set up for you. And honestly, just Everton fans needed this. Do they not? A comfortable, we're good enough. Yeah, get out of here, Foxes. 4-0. We're not relegation fodder anymore. We've got it. Comfortable. Have a good day out in the sun. Nice weather. Just awesome. Other than, Wolves starting to chase up the rain.
Yeah, no, you know what, mate? Honestly, everyone was buzzing. I think a lot of it as well, and obviously the relief that this is the atmosphere it should have been all season, because there's the relief that we're not getting relegated, because look, we probably still need a couple more, probably need like 2 or 3 more wins to be specifically safe. But I think that a lot of the fans now are feeling a lot of that relief. There's a lot of space in between us. We're playing decent football. We're still not playing like ridiculously good football, but it just shows that a just changing mindset and a bit more positivity and a bit more confidence on the players, what it's doing. And the fans are feeling off that, and they're really enjoying now. You can really tell that people are feeling that it's Everton's last season. Everyone around me is obviously making the most of it, saying hello. It's just that kind of getting on with each other kind of thing. You can feel it in the stadium. There's more of a party atmosphere, a lot more relaxed and things like that. So, which is what it should have been all season. This is what we should have gone into the season, building on what we did last season, been able to be a bit more positive, some attacking players in. and just generally getting the vibe, like everyone bouncing, everyone buzzing.
Mhm.
And we've now got that now. Moyes is in and Dykes is out.
Yeah. We'll follow this up as we go here, Chloe, but not sure who Kamas is. I'm seeing someone when I'm looking up SofaScore. Is that someone like a Lebanese footballer? I'm not seeing too much about them, but if that does come through, please let us know, and we can an attacking Egyptian player. So we can look this up as we go, Corey. But have you heard of Kamas before?
Not as far as I'm aware, no.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm probably the worst one to ask on that because I've got no idea. Just bear with me 2 seconds.
Corey, you're the one that knows all the players and kicks someone out. Like, I've got time on a Thursday to watch like the second division of Portugal, and he played for 5 minutes and he really made an impact. And I'm like, Corey, how do you pull this off? So I thought you were the one to know.
Do you know what, mate? I just follow like a bunch of different bloggers in regards to football. So I see what they say, have a look, and then you get attached to a couple of players. That the keeper for Bruges,
Okay.
on midweek against City. He's one I've followed for a while now. He's spot on. To be honest, do we need him to take Miko's spot now because he's looking well? Yeah, let's get him in because he'd really take our game to the next level.
Yeah. So in addition to that, in the UK, and granted it's early AM for me now, it's like 2 a.m. We're talking so it's the 1st of Feb. So really we're talking 2 days from now. There's a very good chance we're doing a transfer show live until midnight to see where we're up to and have some player updates, and it'll probably be a not extravaganza, but probably similar to we've had a few of these over the years, so like 3 hours of just live content talking about players, and I can go on SofaScore and we can kind of interact and talk live. And maybe if we get some better more substantial details in this Egyptian Kamas, we can go into that later. But at the moment, we'll stick to the Everton result from today. But thank you for keeping us up to date on that, Chloe.
Yeah, thank you very much, guys. Just bear with me 2 seconds, Chris. I've got a little bit of a technical issue. I just need 2 minutes, okay?
Okay. All good. So I will talk here and seeing myself on the screen. Nothing abnormal about that. You get used to it. Talking about the defense under Moyes as well. It felt relatively comfortable the last couple matches. It was a little bit scary against Villa. I think we were playing from the back and weren't really comfortable. How do you say this right? We're kind of playing fullbacks to centre half, and Branthwaite in particular he was quite confident trying to bring it up from the back, and the high press of Villa and kind of trapping Branthwaite into mistakes was causing us a few issues. And we gave a few opportunities away against Spurs. But when you think about how we've done against Brighton and now against Leicester, feeling very confident about our back four. Jake O'Brien out of position, but honestly, not a surprise under Moyes that he'll play someone out of position to get them game time. And he hasn't looked out of place. He's just not going to be bombing on in a ultra aggressive style like you'd see with Patterson. Corey, I'm not sure if you've got audio or visuals, but
yeah, all good now.
What are your thoughts on Jake O'Brien as right back at the moment?
Do you know what? I think since he's come in, he's not put a foot wrong. Now, he's not done the spectacular scoring goals and things like that, the individualistic stuff. But I don't think he's put a foot wrong since he's come in. Defensively, he's been brilliant. His one-on-ones today, even when Mavididi came on late on, he's pacey. That's the kind of player that a centre-back should probably struggle against. Didn't let him get past him. Won all his one-on-ones today. His passing is really, really good. I've said it before. I knew he was okay at passing the ball anyway, but I didn't realise how deft the pass he had on him. A couple of times he just wrapped his foot around it and put it around the corner for players. So I don't think he's actually put a foot wrong. And if Tarkowski and Branthwaite get injured, I don't think we need to worry about that centre-back position. It's more, again, who's going to come into right-back. So he's easily going to fill in at that centre-back position. He's looked like a really, really good signing. And it's a travesty that he's not been in the team sooner.
Yeah, and I think the travesty of him not being in the team sooner. I understand that. I guess the real question, oh, maybe not the real question. He has done a good job, absolutely, on everything defensive. If we're in a position where we really need to test teams to go up the table from an attacking perspective, having an overlapping fullback, Jake O'Brien isn't going to be that. He's going to be a right centre back out of position who's doing a job.
Yeah, it's a hard one because what you do, because he's not really done anything to deserve coming out the team. But
No,
there's going
I
to be
don't think
times
he
where
has either.
we're gonna need it. But there's potentially going to be a time when we play four at the back, and of them, one of the wide defenders are going to be who we need to be a marauding wing back, essentially. Like Nathan Patterson is essentially what I'm getting to. So there will probably come a time where we need that. But then it's a case of if he's not put a foot wrong, is it just going to be a change that we'll make mid-game if we're struggling to break a team down? Will we just go to 5 at the back?
And we have done that every time, it seems, in recent times. You basically, the right centre back / fullback tucks in, and then you have Ashley Young or Patterson comes on.
But that's been more of
basically
a
the
like a
match.
defensive shape as opposed to an attacking one. So it's a case of has Moyes got it in him to change that team and go with that 5 at the back more for an offensive style as opposed to defensive? Because every time we've done that, we've done 5 at the back out of possession. Obviously, Jacob Remy took in and allow us to defend a little bit more if we need to. Pack obviously the defensive side of things. And then we go to a back 4, he pushes out wide, and then Lindstrom will push up, maybe go central a little bit. Will we be able to, when, like you said, when we're struggling to break a team down, will we be able to go 5 at the back, and the 3 defenders will actually just sit back and keep that position safe, and then maybe Mikalenko push up as a wing back, Patterson play up as a wing back, and then whoever's going to play wide cut in and kind of overload the box kind of thing. So we've not seen that side of things, but it's something to have we got it in us. Certainly shape wise, yes, but it's a case of have we got the ability to do that going forward if need be.
Yeah, and I'm really glad to see O'Brien, in the squad. It's more the being nitpicky on a long-term strategy of if teams know, you know what, we basically have someone that's defensive, but there's no goal threat on that right side. They may have a tactic to block us because they're going to focus defensively on the new Iliman and Jai and Vitaly Mikalenko left wing. That was my main point. So you came in a little bit late, but we're kind of going through ratings. We thought Pickford was somewhere between a 7 to an 8. He didn't do much wrong. He had his assist. We talked about Branthwaite and Tarkovsky being solid. Mikalenko looking really excelling in this new situation. O'Brien, as we just mentioned, I'd probably give him a 7. You could say higher, but he did his job and was reliable the entire match. How do you feel about the midfield today? We'll start with James Garner because he's the fresh one on the block.
Yeah. So, like I said before, I think he's probably my top 3 for man of the match: Beto, Gay, and Garner. Brilliant. His energy was fantastic. When they broke, he got across and put a slide tackle in. He was winning balls, whether it was a slide tackle, whether he was just pinching in and winning the ball. And of course, that ball through for Beto was fantastic. We've missed passes like that. Partly because we've had Calvert-Lewin who's not going to break them lines, but also because we don't have midfielders who look at Drissagana. Gay is fantastic. He plays good passes. Mangala's been solid, but James Garner loves to look and make them passes quite a lot. So it was refreshing to see him come in. I'm not going to diminish anything that Mangala's done because I think he's been fantastic, and I'm absolutely gutted that he's not fit and he's going to go back to Lyon. But we've not missed him today because James Garner's come in and he's been fantastic defensively and on the ball.
Yeah, I would say, and I'm not sure I'll give him a 10. I'm interested to that Duggan's giving a 10 out of 10 for anyone. I would say somewhere between an 8 to 9 out of 10.
Yeah, 8.5 is what I would have gone for.
Yeah,
absolute solid 8.5.
But to me, if you say 9 out of 10, you're scoring a hat trick or you're doing something. And partly it's like Leicester just weren't good enough to say that anyone deserves a 10. Leicester were also poor, but you can still do well against a poor squad. And James Garner was exactly that today. And what a comeback after being injured, back injury. And you say, and I've given him a lot of flack for saying you struggle to take on the team sometimes. The midfield will overwhelm you, and he was not overwhelmed. He drove that place. He was huge on the pressing, high up. We wouldn't have had that same set. We wouldn't have pressed as high as we did without James Garner today.
Yeah, his energy is fantastic. Whether it's in stopping their transition or whether it's defending from the front, his energy is fantastic. He's not the strongest, he's not the quickest, but by God, does that lad give some graft? He's a proper kind of player that the home fans love. He's a local lad, although he's a Red. He's a fairly local lad. He loves it. He's energetic. He puts his shift in, and he'll scrap as well. And he's got that school of science, bit of technical ability as well.
Yeah.
He's still got a lot to learn. He's still got a lot to grow. But he's back. It's a really, really good start, and hopefully he really thrives under David Moyes again. Moyes loves them kind of players.
Yeah. Really happy to see him back, and it couldn't have been more timely after Oro Mangala's ACL injury. Addressing on a game, how do you think he did?
Again, as I said, 8 to 8.5. All over the show, the second half, and you can see that the man's playing with confidence, because there's a couple of times where the ball's bouncing off him, and instead of going to someone else, it lands back at his feet or it lands back at him, and it's because he's just got that extra bit of confidence. We talk about marginal gains, and one of the issues under Dyche was we're so defensive and we're so pragmatic. When the ball comes to us, we're so unsure, and it's that little bit of unsurety, that little bit of confidence that loses you. But Gay's in such fine form. He's doing so well at the moment that these little things are coming off for him, and it's because he's got that kind of body language, and he's there. On top of that is pressing. The goal, it come from us passing the ball, or not even passing. It was Tarkowski, weren't it? He was just diving on the ball for ages, sucked them in. The ball comes to him, just in a little flick with his foot, and that's
the back heel to James Garner.
Free, yeah. So he's not only showing his defensive ability, the energy that we've seen from him, but he's showing a bit of flair now. He's showing why he played in a team at PSG with the likes of Neymar and Messi. So again, I think 8.5, similar to James Garner. Fantastic energy.
Yeah, it's hard to pick the difference between them. I would probably give Garner a slight nod or nudge to 8.5 over, and Garner gain 8, just simply because what a comeback for James Garner. But both of them, they're a huge part of where we won today. The distribution, and all of a sudden receiving the ball and being able to dominate the midfield, because Harry Winks and the rest of them, they'll pant. So let's go to left midfield. Iliman Ndiaye, yes, he scored. I love Ndiaye. He didn't take the game by the horns today, but he wasn't bad either. Yes, he scored. Paid attention to the end, but I would probably say a 7.
Yes, I'd maybe push him up to a 7.5 for the goal, but he wasn't really in the game. They focused on him a lot of times. He had 2 men on him, but he's still shown what he's capable of. Obviously, I mean, the goal at the end was fantastic to see, because we know the skill he's got. There was a point in in the second half where he took on 2 men, looked like he got fouled, and the ball was still at his feet. It's like he plays with the ball tethered to his foot. So we know he can do that kind of ability. But it's at the end where he's playing that number 9 role, and he's just harassing the defence. Obviously, he tried to play the ball in for Gay. He didn't get the ball. Leicester were unsure on the ball, and he was just putting that much pressure on. He won the ball back himself, and you don't expect strikers to win the ball there too much. But the lad's hungry, the lad's confident, and then once he was 1-on-1, you knew it was going in.
Yeah, and so I'm so happy Ndiaye scoring. We need somewhat. I mean, and we have Beto. We'll come to that too. But we have a couple players where you feel the goal scoring form just through their veins right now, and that's Ndiaye too. On the flip side, Lindstrom, not poor, but again, like, did he really break the game open? No. Was the effort there? Yes, absolutely. He missed. He didn't miss a chance, but it was blocked near the end. I'm going to give him a 6, but I'm sure through our positivity of winning 4-0, people may give him a higher score.
Yeah, I think, to be fair, I think he had a solid game. With Peter put there 7. I don't think a 7's too far from what he played. He was very good all game. His technical ability was very good. Some decent balls. He's very, very solid. He's not,
Mhm.
again, he's not set the world alight. He's not done anything so mercurial as Njai does, but he's still been solid. I think if he didn't miss that one-on-one, I think we'd have said there's a solid 7, definitely. But you do lose points when you're in that position and you don't score. I'd literally, I was still celebrating when the ball got out for the corner because I swear he hit the back of the net.
Well, Corey, maybe I'm giving him a 6 because I said, you know what, Jesper's gonna score today, and Chad was like, "Oh no, he's gonna score," and he didn't, and now I'm just disappointed. Maybe it's that, but
personal.
but honestly, not a poor performance, but probably one of the weaker performances of our starting 11, and that's why I've given him a 6.
It's the worst of a good bunch, but I think it's a testament that no one's come out that bad. That you come out of it maybe a tiny bit disappointed in Lindstrom, and he still had a really solid game. It's probably still one of his better games that better games that he's had for us, if you know what I mean. So
yeah, it's either that or Spurs for me. But yeah, even still, for me anyway, a 6 is a pass, a Premier League pass. So 6 to 7 is not an issue. So now we're working our way to Abdoulaye Doucouré. He scored.
Do you know what? There was times when he looked brilliant, and there was times when he was trying flicks and he come off, and then there's other times where he's the Doucouré that we know, when he's slowing the game down, he's going to lose the ball. I'll be honest, he still gets a 7 because he's had a good game. There you go, Pete. Well done, mate. I agree. He still had a very, very good game. His technical ability is not there, but he's shown flashes today. And look, the fact he scored that goal on 9 seconds, I think it was it? It really got the game started. It was just, that's what you want from him, is him running on the ball direct. You don't want him to be twisting and turning because he's not got it. So that worked in his favour today, and he took his chance because he can finish. So 7, I think that might be a little bit harsh on him as well. I think maybe even a 7.5, but I'll go 7.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the official stat, but basically the goal broke records today. According to Everton Football Club, it was when it was released, the fastest ever goal at Goodison Park, the fastest ever goal by an Everton player, the fastest ever Premier League goal by a home side, and the 4th fastest goal in Premier League history. So basically, the fastest goal Everton have ever scored, yes, and for a home team, no one scored faster, but 3 teams have scored a goal quicker than that when they've played away from home. One of which has to have been the Bournemouth game against Arsenal 2 years ago, and you got 2 others. But
do you know what the quickest one is? Bonus points if you get the quickest one.
Do we just leave it in the chat because I'm not going to get the answer? Or do you want to tell me immediately, Corey?
No, go on. We'll leave it to the chat. Whoever gets it first gets a gold star from me.
And the gold star will you'll get our appreciation. I'm trying to think of something on the top of my head. It's 2:30. You know, it's an hour and 20 minutes. I'm getting a bit tired. So,
So go on then, mate. If we move on to the subs, obviously the first sub to come on was Ashley Young.
You missed Beto first. Come on.
You missed Beto. Sorry, mate.
Yeah.
You said you were tired.
I'm the one calling you out on your fatigue, bro. Beto gets my man of the match for the 9.
Yeah, 8. Like I said, 8.5. He was brilliant. He still slows the game down a little bit. He's still very raw. That pass he tried to make to Njai should have been better. I think it would have been better just hitting it across the face of goal. Yeah, I think he was fantastic. He's shown when you play to his strengths and you pass the ball to him, every single time that ball when played forward, he was outpacing the defender. The one at the back when he made, was it Anderson, Vestergaard, and he put Vestergaard on the backside.
He was terrible today, not Premier League caliber, and he got subbed for a reason.
There we go. Blue Stew with the winner, Shane Long. So yeah, I think look, he's fantastic. He shows what happens when you play to his strength. And a lot of people have said he's not good enough. And I know the technical ability is not there complete, but sometimes that comes with as Sean Dyche said, match fitness. You know what I mean? Not Premier League fit. Sometimes that comes with playing the game. And he's not had too much chance when you come on for 20 minutes, 10 minutes here and there. It's not enough to get the feel of it. So he's had his chance. He took his chance, and hopefully this is it now.
Yeah. And you know what? The part of him getting that 9 out of 10 for me, he's started to time his runs really well.
Yeah.
And there was what was it? The first goal that he scored was due to the right back. Is it James Justin?
Yeah.
That Justin was a bit flat-footed and they played a high line. He timed his run and he scored. He was notorious for giving away offsides early in this season. So to me, to beat Peter Duggan's point, that's why I'm giving him a 9. He timed his runs and he was composed at the same time. To me, that's just exactly what we want from him, and he did it today.
Yeah, I think he's done very well. His finishing was very, very good. Showing the he led the line really well. Against the really the teams that we're going to struggle against and lose a lot of the possession too. He's probably not going to be the guy for that because we are going to be relying on holding the ball up and things like that. But like teams, we should be going at most teams. Like even teams like Manchester United, Chelsea, I think we should be going at them. It's only really Arsenal, Liverpool, Manchester City who you may be going to really struggle against. We should be able to go at all these teams a little bit more and play the ball behind the defensive lines, and that's what Beto's good at. And he struggled from us not basing that system around him. So maybe when Njai's back, or we get them attacking midfielders we're linked to, and they're able to pick up the pockets and play through balls through him, we'll see even more from him.
So Corey, from what you were just telling me though, when we're playing a tough squad, we need someone that can hold up the ball and strike from distance. Are you saying that Michael Keane is going to replace Beto up front?
Don't see why not. I think the glow up that everyone's had since Moyes has come in, you could see Michael Keane turning into prime Ibrahimovic at this point, can't you?
Yeah, bicycle kicks from distance,
overhead kicks, ninja kicks.
Yeah, he'll just Latin people. I mean, that would be entertaining. But we can't encourage violence here, folks. We're a PG organization. But we did hit 3,000 subscribers today, so thank you to everyone following. If you haven't followed already and you're on X, feel free to please jump on to YouTube as well. It gets the algorithm going. I think the algorithm through X has been pretty good, but the YouTube one is a little bit trickier to move us along. So please feel free and encourage you, if you're not on YouTube, to go on, even just like and subscribe to push our content through is thoroughly appreciated. All right, we've got I'll go to Moyes before I forget. I think Moyes is a 9. 10 is just, and I don't like giving 10, but here's the thing. We are seeing confidence out of these players. They have effective triangles again through down the channels, and the crowd is happy again. The players seem confident. I'm happy. How do you feel Moyes is doing?
I think he's doing fantastic. I think when he was announced, me and you did the show, didn't we? And I said I was a bit on the fence in terms of his appointment. Look, I did say as well that he's going to guarantee us safety. So I do think he's a much better manager than Sean Dyche. We've said this. It is like you said. There's very little difference in terms of the players that we've got, and he's still playing a pragmatic game. Like we still defend narrow. We still let teams have the ball if they want it, and we still catch them on the break. But the difference is the players are now encouraged to pass the ball. He's giving them the confidence. He's bringing players in that have been sidelined. There's a lot more involvement. There's a lot of happiness. So just by changing the mentality there, and especially with the crowd as well, that's cyclical and it's changing things. And the fact that we've said that the players are a lot better than what they're allowed to show, what they're allowed to give. It's the tactics that are restricting them. Fans have said we're chatting wham, but let's be honest, we've seen it clear as day now that we've all been gaslit into thinking that this team was poor technically, when in reality we've got players who can do a job, even if it's just mid-table. But that's where the team we were expecting them to be. So credit to Moyes, 9 out of 10. I would have liked to see Harrison Armstrong come on late on. Maybe even Martin Sheriff just to replace Beto because he was a bit tired, just to give him that little run out with 2 minutes to go. We would just use the last of the substitutions. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At 4-0.
No, I agree too. I guess the defense, if I'm or devil's advocate response, when you need to shore up your squad, and you know that these are the players you want to keep when you get new signings in 2 to 3 weeks, make sure that they know how to gel together, and all the excess players pull on if you need to. Maybe that's the case, but I really want Harrison Armstrong in that squad.
Yeah, I think it would have been the perfect time for him. We're knocking the ball around well. Leicester heads are completely gone. So if you bring him in the Decore role just behind, look, it's not as if we're going to lose the game. I know Moyes likes to shore up a clean sheet. He'd have been fuming against Spurs, but it would have been nice to get him in. He'd get him on the ball. He would have had a bit more time, a bit more space against the team where you would have had the extra split second that you maybe don't get when you make that step up. You would have got that because the Leicester heads were down, and I think it would have been a great opportunity for him to come in, even just 2-3 minutes, just get on the ball, try a couple of things, maybe have a shot at goal, try and slip someone through. But these are really minor things. These are literally inconsequential things that we just would have liked to see.
I mean, we're talking about nitpicky stuff, and you know what? I am happy AF.
Yeah.
Myself. So I think we'll quickly touch on the subs, but I think I'm about closed off for now. So we have Tim Eric Burnham came on for James Garner. Didn't take the world didn't pull up trees, but at the same time, like, he did everything we asked of him. He was in position and just getting familiar again with like the Moyes setup defensively, move into cover on the left side because I think he was left central midfield. He did his job. I would say 6 to 7. I'm not even going to bother rating in a way, but I was just happy with how he fit into the squad really quickly. And it was only 10 minutes?
10 minutes. He come in. He didn't rest on the laurels. He come in. He won a tackle early on. Strong tackle, won the ball. He took a couple of players on as well, didn't he? Little 1-2s and things like that. So he come on. I thought he was very much involved when he come on. He impressed me. Yeah, like you said, he's not pulling up trees, but it's a 10-minute cameo after an injury.
Yeah, right. You don't expect that at this point.
But the way he come in and how he slotted in is fantastic. It means that now, we've lost Mangala, but we've got 2 back in. He's shown that it wasn't just circumstantial and he was a flash in the pan at the start of the season. It's shown that is his ability that he's got. And hopefully, again, with the positivity, we can build on that with Moyes. It gives us an outlet or an opportunity now to make a substitution later on in midfield where we would have struggled previously. So, again, happy to see. I would have said maybe a 7, even a 7.5, just for how well he did in the cameo.
Yeah. I wasn't even sure I wanted to give him a ranking because it would be, I could say, yes, he really stood out to me instead of an 8, but in that short period, you have to be scoring or doing something. Yes, you can win some tackles, but I just don't feel like maybe it's also fatigue at my point at nearly 3 a.m. now, but seeing these players and you're like, yes, I'm really happy to see him back, but I feel like I need to watch him back to see what he did because it wasn't glowingly obvious, which is not a bad thing.
Yeah.
I just think he fit in with the squad. I'll quickly go over some of the others, but I think Ashley Young came on at 75 for Lindstrom, Nathan Patterson last minute for Mikalenko, and same for Jack Harrison. Any of those stick out to you, or just they did their job?
Not particularly yet. Come in, did the job. Ashley Young was trying to get forward a few times. He was right in front of us. You could see him a couple of times the ball was it, and he was trying to make that run for the ball. And about 2-3 times, he was fuming because the ball wasn't getting played over the top to him. So I'm not going to read into that anything negative. I'm going to read into it that he's come on and he's not coming on. He's trying to rest on his laurels. He's wanting to get forward and do something as well. So it's not a comment on them and their performance because, like Peter put, non-applicable. They've not played enough time. But you're seeing them come on and you're seeing them come on with that hunger and that desire later on. They're not just there to make a cameo. They're there to do something. Jack Harrison got on the ball, a little spin, got the shot off. Not great, but again, we're seeing that there's hunger and desire in these players coming in. So it's more, again, it's probably more of a point on Moyes, but it's more a comment or an observation on on the cohesiveness of the team and the squad in general. Everyone's really fighting for it. It's good to see. That's what's most exciting.
It's the most exciting.
Yeah.
You know, my dad jokes are just going down the gutter. So I think I'm about done. Is there anything you want to? I mean, look, we're gonna do almost certainly a show in about 2 days from now, a transfer deadline show. If there's anything more formal with Alcaraz, I'm sure we'll talk to it. But is there anything else right now you'd like to cover before we go?
No, I think Leicester could be going down, and I'm happy to see that. I don't like them.
The
Personal
Foxes.
vendetta. That's probably the only thing I'd like to say because I could see them going down. Now they're really struggling. That one against Spurs was a one-off and probably shows how bad they are. But apart from that, like I said, the team, the squad in general, the atmosphere at Goodison Park, everything's looking really, really positive. Let's not lose our head when there's a bump in the road. But look, it's really positive. 3 games on the spin. Let's take this into the derby next week and do the red shite in.
Yeah. If they get relegated, I want the Leicester lawyer. Do you?
The best signing we could have. So
yeah, it'll help us for PSR indefinitely.
Do you know what? If there's only one player from that team, I'd probably that Buonanotte looks okay. But
he's on loan though.
Yeah. He's the only player I'd have probably from them. Although I do like Stefan Mavididi. He's inconsistent, doesn't have a bit of end product. But he's a player that could do really well with a good arm around the shoulder. He's fast. He's tricky. You're playing him on the right. He could be that kind of pacey player you want out wide. He's someone that we could take a chance on maybe.
Yeah, I think that's about it. I actually really am shocked that Buonanotte, ever since what's his name again? The Dutch fella, Van Nistelrooy came in. He's basically got benched for Mohamed El Yunusi, and that seems to be it's not the beginning of the end, but it's just a poor move. I like Buonanotte a lot. If you're into FPL, I got him right at a good time, and then he just got subbed a lot, and it's like one of those kind of players where you realize they could actually make a huge impact in the right squad. And I would love to have him in our team, but he's also kind of cost controlled by a bigger club. So,
yeah. Peter Duggan there. What about Patson Daka? There was a time when I would have had Patson Daka. He looked really good at Salzburg. He was absolutely rapid. He was putting goals away. But since he's come to the Premier League, there's a lot less space, and he's really, really struggled with that. So I just think it's one of them where sometimes you just take that step up, and they can't make that step up. So I wouldn't go for Patson Daka now. There was a time I would have had him. I would have salivated over the thought of him coming to the club, but I think it's just a step too much for him. He'll potentially go to Spain, maybe Germany, where there's a tiny bit more space, and he'll do really well. But the Premier League's just not for him.
You know, the Sahara Desert has a lot of space for them runs.
So is the Hubble telescope.
All right, and with that bombshell of a dumb joke, I think I'm done for the night. Thank you, everyone. What a great result. 4-0. It could have been a lot more. Leicester look like they're going down. Wolves are struggling. Southampton won, making a dogfight with Ipswich. So there's 4 teams that aren't us. We're comfortably working our way out of the relegation zone right now. Winning games again. It feels like 2013 all over again. Just happy. I'm going to go to bed easy. And you guys have a great Saturday night.
Let's get the Chang in. Let's get the bottles of Chang on the go.
And don't stake.com too much. Gamble responsibly.